How do you really know that you are who you say you are? How do you really know I am? That was a super chat question I got in one of my live streams from this past weekend that I want to answer today, as well as a question in regards to a third party popping up into the equation. That is what we're going to talk about today. Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? I hope you are all choosing to be the versions of yourself that have whatever the hell you want. I hope that's what you're doing. I'm telling you what, that's what I do. Damn right I do. I enjoy my life. I live my life. I get irritated at some shit and I allow myself to be irritated. I don't judge myself for it. I don't assume that is screwing things up for me because I know my decision in who I know myself to be is what is the final authority in my reality. So I hope that's exactly what you all are doing and just living your best lives. And the only reason why you're watching manifestation content is because you just want to hang out with me because we're friends. That's what I'm deciding, right? That's my intention for today's video. All right. I did a couple of live streams this past weekend, and I did have to end them early, and I think it doesn't matter, does it? We had some super chats not answered, and okay, I'm in my car. I'm in my best car, okay? My favoriteest, my precious car. So, and it's sunny, hence the sunglasses, because the sun is directly in my face, okay? So I hope you don't mind. I'm here. I just don't want to wear them, okay? Totally irrelevant, but just wanted to say that's why I'm wearing my damn sunglasses. And the visor is down, so it might get in your way, okay? All right, so first, let's get out of the way how do I know I am who I say I am? Like, how do I really know? I think that is an excellent question, because how do you know? How do you have the security and the safety that you are who you say you are? Well, I'm going to bring up the reminder of why do we even have the availability or the opportunity to even make that decision? Where does that come from? It comes from God or universe, higher power, source, entity, moonbeams, whatever it is you believe the great absolute is. And that great absolute is pure, unadulterated consciousness. It is everything. It is the everything, the all there is. That is who each one of us is. And from there, we're experiencing reality through a filter, and we could say from a perspective. Kind of like, where are we standing in consciousness? So it's like where we're choosing to look. So if you were in a house, and let's say that house was the all-encompassing consciousness, it's the everything. Let's say you're there, and it's a house, all with windows, right? Windows everywhere. More windows than the average house. And every single window is a perspective of consciousness, right? Everything is there in that consciousness, but you're seeing and experiencing the piece or the part of consciousness through that window. That window is your identity. Think of it like that. So how do I know I am who I say I am? Because you are already all there is. So that conscious thought, that knowing thought, I am that I am, is all there is. It's all there ever has been. All there ever was that, right? You can't experience reality from any other place than I am. So let's say the very second right before you woke up to conscious manifestation, you were experiencing your reality based off of what? Who you know yourself to be. Now, if you are logical minded like my old self used to be, you might be thinking, okay, well, I just felt like I was just my regular self. So in my case, I just thought I was Kimberly, the same old Kimberly that I had been since birth. You know, I had some life experiences and I assumed reality was like the culmination of those experiences. So I viewed reality as all of those things that I lived, good or bad, were shaping me into who I was at that moment. Not obviously understanding, no. It is because I believed that. So that is who I knew myself to be. So again, let me say this again. All the moments I had believed I lived, up until the moment I found manifestation, I believed that all those experiences that from my logical perspective were being experienced on that linear straight line, they all shaped me into who I thought I was. Right? So let me say, well, I thought I was plain old Kimberly who had, lived in such and such town, went to such and such school, had such and such amount of relationships, got dumped in those relationships, felt like love didn't work for her. She had to work for everything. That is just what life taught me. So in other words, life told me who I was. And that's probably exactly what you all have lived your life as. Now, I'm bringing that part up for a reason. You see, I've said in other content that I really think that this whole manifestation thing, the journey, the community itself, really has been leading you in a circle. So let's say the very second before you found conscious manifestation is where our circle started, right? Just for the sake of conversation. That was the first point. And then you went through the journey of discovering all the different techniques, all the different opinions and perspectives on how manifestation works. And all the while that was leading you in a circle. To come back around, to discover that your consciousness is the Christ consciousness. So you're discovering, oh my God, I have been that Christ consciousness this entire time. And you come through your awakening and you figure out, oh my God, I never needed all of these techniques. I never needed to fix myself. I never needed to heal anything. I just needed to know this is how life works, we could say, or this is who I am. So that full circle comes back to the point of realizing I never needed anything outside of myself. I never needed really to do anything but to know, or to, I'm going to say, accept who you are. And you see how that full circle, what did that do? That full circle brought you all the way back around. You went through all, and again, I'm talking in simplicity here, and this is just an example. I'm not trying to say everybody has the same exact journey. Really, I would say the journey or the example I'm using was my own journey. I went through all the different parts of the manifestation community. Oh, I have to say my affirmations. I have to script. I have to do embodiment. I have to do robotic affirming. I have to do visualization in SATs. I have to do all of these things. I'm not allowed to have bad thoughts. If I have bad thoughts, that's my fault. That's why my manifestation isn't here. Went through all of that. It's almost like going through elementary school, through high school. Well, we forgot about junior high. So with junior high, you came full circle to come around to come to that final where that circle started. So now that circle stops again, right? And those two moments connect. and you see, shit, I was never doing anything wrong. There was never anything wrong with me. There was never anything for me to fix. It was a matter of me just understanding who I am. And I'm going to say, figuring out, I just needed to decide for myself, who am I? I think it's easier to look at it as every single one of us is like a little piece of source. So we're all our individual little pieces, our little individual points in consciousness, experiencing ourselves. So we experience reality and we see reality, but that reality is who we are, right? It's our own consciousness projected in front of us. At least it feels that way. I would say technically it's actually in here inside of us. There's nothing really out here, but that's a different video. So you see what I mean? So how do I know I am who I say I am? Because there's no other option. There's nothing and no one else who can decide for you who you are. So you must be who you say you are. There's no one else deciding. There's no other judge. So in other words, you can't decide wrong. You can't be wrong. Because it's just you. It's just you. So you must be who you say you are. It's an automatic. It's an instant. And if that's not making sense, let me say this. This is one of my most favorite, out of all the Bible verses there are, this was my most favorite. And it is the only thing that we were ever told to do, the way I see it. Be still and know. And be still and know what? Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am. So how do I really know that I am? I am. I just am. I am that I am. Do you see? You see the simplicity in it? You see how simple it actually is? Be still. I look at that as stop. Calm yourself. I am. It's an automatic. Because you're all there is. You see, more than likely, there's a part of you, and we're going to just call it your ego, the human-y part of you, the humanness of you, that feels like we need something on the outside of us to validate so that you can feel comfortable and secure and thinking, oh, okay, I really am that. Okay. So like, for example, if you're manifesting a specific person, how do I know I'm really the version of myself who's in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship? Because that's who I'm saying I am. How do I really know that? So we question it and question it and question it because what? Because we're waiting for the outside to validate us and say, oh, you are it. Here you go. Here's your relationship. Here's your specific person. You are it now. You can agree with that now. That's the paradox here, isn't it? Because you were always it. And this is another place I like to remind people that, remember, you only see a fraction of what's actually right here in front of you, right? Science says that your mind is filtering out, that reticular activating system is filtering out so much data. And you're only taking in, processing so much, like a teeny tiny little bit of the actual reality that's around you. So while you're sitting there waiting for the evidence to make you feel safer that, oh, who I say I am is really who I am, while you're waiting for that evidence was more than likely sitting right in front of you the whole damn time. So how do you know you are who you say you are? Because there is no other option. There's nothing or no one other than yourself to say that you are not. And that kind of comes back to my favorite little saying, I am or I am not. I am not. I am or I am not. So who are you? And I sincerely mean this. You are whoever you say you are. Nothing or no one can contradict that or make that not true for you. It's an automatic. Because your consciousness, your awareness, I see it as not only is it your isness, your beingness, but it's also the gift from the absolute consciousness. It's that gift that's allowing you to make that decision, that free will decision in who you are. That is why we have that freedom to say, I am or I am not. See, most of us get ourselves, like I said earlier, all entangled in, what if I don't see evidence? What if nothing in my reality looks like evidence or validation or a manifestation success story that I really, really am who I say I am? What if? Who would be the judge? Who could judge that for you? Who could look out at reality right now in this moment and look at it, look at all the evidence? Who would it be to say, oh, no, my friend, you aren't who you say you are yet? No one but you. So your choice, your decision, your knowingness, your acceptance of who you are, all of it completely in your hands at every given moment. And even with that, you never stop being. You never stop being. You never stop being I am. Again, I hope that you're really contemplating what I said about that full circle. You're just coming back home to yourself. What was your life like before you found manifestation? The only change or difference in your life, I'm going to say should be, and again, this is just my perspective, the only difference now between that moment and now is maybe you now identify a little differently. Maybe you've stopped living by somebody else's rules and opinions. Maybe now you can stop feeling like you got to do stuff to get your reality to change. Now, some of us are very logical, so I know maybe hearing that might be a little confusing. Then I suggest you challenge yourself and ask yourself, how can I know that I am? How can I know that I am God? How can I know that? How can I show myself that I am God? Show me that I am. Prove to me that I am. And see what comes up in your reality. Have no expectation of what can validate you. Just allow and see what comes up. Because something will, because you are everything, all at once, at every moment. It's total fucking freedom, man. It's total fucking freedom. You can sincerely be, do, and have whatever you want because you already are all possibilities of yourself. All possibilities, past, present, future, you're all it at the same time, right now in this moment. And you've never not been it. You just weren't aware of it. You just didn't know. you were looking out a window that, let's say, had a heavier filter, a more limited filter. It's total freedom. Anyways, going into the next question. What do you do when suddenly, you were manifesting a specific person, and then you started, enjoying some time with a BBL? For anybody that's new to manifestation, a BBL is just when someone other than your specific person comes in to your current reality, and then you find out that your SP has a third party. And I'm not going to lie, by the super chat question, I am not sure who you mean. Is it your specific person as a third party, or your BBL as a third party? And this super chat also said that, they feel like they have a goddess self-concept. Well, I mean, I'm very happy to hear that you identify as being a goddess. That translates to me as, that you are all there is. You're fucking amazing, right? Or the most popular terminology, I would say, maybe that you are aware that you are more than enough, always chosen, all the basic bitch shit we hear, right? Okay. So if you believe that you've got a goddess self-concept, let me just say, was there ever any other option though? Was there ever any other option? Did you ever believe that you were less than amazing, less than perfect, less than divine? I'm going to tell you, yes, of course, in my life, I definitely had periods of linear time where I did not believe I was any of those things. So that's not me being snarky. But now that you know, right, you're aware of who you actually are. Whatever is going on in current reality, so SP has a third party, fucking irrelevant. Utterly irrelevant. I know it don't feel like it's irrelevant. It feels like there's a mega emergency, and maybe you're identifying with that as if you have done something wrong, that now there is a third party in the equation. And I just want to tell you, you're not doing anything wrong. And I'm going to say you probably never did really do anything wrong to begin with. You're not doing anything wrong. There is no right or wrong in conscious manifestation. Now, to my very logical thinkers, you're probably thinking, yes, there is. You can do it wrong. Like, you could keep identifying as I am not, and that's wrong. But is it? You can identify as I am not, and the answer is always yes. So you're always going to be in some kind of fulfillment, because it's all there ever is this one moment. Okay? Oh, look at the pretty deer. Hi. Oh my God, it's a whole family of them. Okay, sorry. But that's a whole other video, right? We don't gotta go down there. There being a third party, it doesn't matter. It feels like it matters to you probably in this moment, because that feels like that's an obstacle to you being in the relationship with your person, but it is not an obstacle. It is a nothingness. It's an experience. Okay? So I'm not telling you that you have to ignore and pretend that you're not aware of this, which is just ridiculous in of itself. Any previous moment up until right now, irrelevant. Who are you right now? Who do you know yourself to be right now? See, we try to make sense of our life by looking back and comparing life experiences. Maybe comparing what your reality looks like right now, maybe versus when you first started manifesting your person. That's really just you choosing to compare data that at this point is irrelevant data, because that past does not define you, does not inhibit you, limit you in any way, because it's not here. It's not here anymore. Do you see what I mean? So, if the goal is to be in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with your specific person. It's simply knowing that there's nothing for you to do. Live your life and know that you are source choosing who you are. You're defining who you are right now in this moment. There is nothing outside of you stopping you from having what you want. Nothing. So if you can get your mind around the idea that you are somehow blocked or that you have somehow messed this up, you have not messed anything up. There isn't an emergency. It's data. And it's data that is useless. It's an experience. It's a frame. I hope that's really sinking in. I really want you to think about that. I know that maybe some manifestation content would tell you to start looking at your beliefs. Well, what are you believing about that? What does all of this mean to you? And while asking yourself that might be interesting, is it a necessary? Is it required? Do we have to do that? Or we're going to be stuck with the third party? Nope. Nope. Because you're only ever in the now moment. That's all there is right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Continuity. I can never say that word. Continuity. Continuity. Our mind tries to make sense of the linear time moments that we believe we're experiencing. So our mind is creating for us, like in an experience. It's connecting all the frames to create the film roll of the moments we just lived. So let's say, all right, according to my camera here, 27 minutes I've been talking. These 27 minutes, your mind, and from my perspective, my mind, has been creating these frames to make it appear in continuity that I've been on a journey driving in my car, talking to you. But really, they are series of moments. Individual moments. It's like how the brain, like I said, how the brain makes logical sense of the eternal now moment in the different experiences we're having. So my point in saying that is, sweetie, if there's a third party and you know you want to be in the relationship with that specific person, that third party, I'm telling you, will melt away. It will go bye-bye. Simply by you knowing I'm not doing anything wrong. I can't fuck this up. Nothing and no one can ever tell me who I am. And who I say I am is the law of my reality. It is the law of your life, of your world. And your reality must show you who you say you are. Always. No exceptions. No exceptions. And if you think that there are exceptions to that, you understand that is you declaring that for yourself. So in a sense, that is you bringing that to you so you can have the experience of that being real to you. Get it? You got nothing to worry about. No one does. When you really, really think about it, because there is only ever now. What is there ever to worry about? Who you say you are determines everything. This is why, if you've been watching my content for at least the last 4 years, this is why I say your decision is the only thing that matters. And when I say it matters, it just matters if you want to be specific in what you experience. You can live reassured that you're going to get what you want. It is always going to lead you to what you want. Always. And me even using that terminology, it's going to lead you, again, because our mind creates experiences to make sense of the new moment, the now moment. We're bigger than the reality around us. We're more powerful, more real. Like I said, we're bigger than what we believe we are. Anyway, I hope that I have sufficiently answered the super chats. Thank you for driving along with me on this finally snow melting spring day. And I'm going to be putting a separate post up, but I'm just going to say to my hot seaters, we will not be having the hot seat group on Friday. We will be having the group on Saturday this week. I have had something come up and I have to move my schedule around. So we will be having it on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But no worries. I'm going to put a post up so you'll get another notification letting you know. Okay? If you're wondering what I'm talking about one of my channel memberships, my hot seat group. That's a group you can get into the hot seat and ask me your own damn questions about whatever's going on with you or what you believe is going on with you, what you're identifying as now in this moment. But let me just say, remember, there's nothing out here. There's nothing out here. There's nothing stopping you from having the life you want, except for your own damn self. You can't fuck it up. You cannot fuck this up. God, I wish everyone knew that and really understood that. Okay, I'm rambling. I'll see you all tomorrow.